Talk, fired up and loud. The Wolfpack Nation, we're a hell of a crowd. From the first pitch to the final play, Tuffy Talk, let's roll today.
What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome back to another recording of the Tuffy Talk podcast. I'm joined today by one of Chris Hart's first additions to his team, Mr. Chet Lax, transfer from Wright State. Chet, thanks for joining us, and how are you doing today?
Doing well. I appreciate you having me on, and doing good.
No, it's our pleasure. So I kind of want to step back because you might be a trivia question one day. Were you or your teammate Hunter Warren the first one to commit officially? Like I know not about posting it, but like in the backgrounds in real time. Was it you or Hunter? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe it was Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah, he did it kind of afternoonish, I believe. And then I was shortly the next day. So
Gotcha. All right. Very cool. But anyway, one of the first. So we can call you the first pitcher ever pulled by Chris Hart. He'll be the first position player. So we'll get you some history there for you. But no, we're really excited for you to join the pack. Since you've committed, we've had some other guys. You're starting to see your team kind of build out. First off, just talk to me through the process, like how you got on NC State's radar. Did you kind of reach out first, or did they reach out to you?
yeah. I mean, I entered the portal, and um, I mean, they reached out first to me, which was nice, I guess.
It's good to feel
So
wanted.
of course. So yeah.
Very cool. Um, So obviously Wright State, and there's some NC State connections there with Coach Sagard. Like I don't want to get into the like why you went to the portal, all of that. That's not important. But when you kind of talk to Coach about, hey, like I really think NC State's a thing. Kind of like if you want to share, if not, totally okay. But your guys' kind of conversation and kind of the words he had for you, kind of going back to his alma mater.
Yeah. He texted me and told me, let me know if you have any questions or anything about NC State. And um yeah, we had some he told me, good things about NC State. Obviously he went there, and I've always, planned under him for 3 years. I've heard good things about NC State. So
Sure.
yeah, it was good that, maybe got that nod of approval. So
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good, right? Like, it's again, people enter the portal for various reasons, but the fact that, you kinda have the coach's blessing and, that's always a positive in that light, but, just kinda talk to me, about your time at Wright State, some of the highs and lows. You guys, went down to Georgia and Tennessee, I believe, this year, was it?
yep,
Or
yep,
do I have it backwards? Yeah.
yep. Georgia first
Um
weekend, and then Tennessee the fourth. So
Yeah, and you those were 2 weekends where you really showed out, and, I know that's gotten NC State, fans like, "Oh," like, he had I think he had, like, in those 2 starts, like, a .082 ERA, like, only gave up 1 run in the 2 outings. Like, you were very dominant in that, in those environments, but kinda just, you know, how did it feel kind of going through, like, in those big time programs? Obviously, Georgia's in the College World Series, and, you you gotta win against the College World Series team. Like, kinda just give me those feelings there.
yeah, I mean, it was super cool to be able to do that. And I've always had the confidence in myself that I could be able to do it. And yeah, I feel like, kind of I've always gotten better every year. So I think that, this year kind of really showed, kind of how hard I like to work, and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, my previous 2 years, I I mean, I've gotten hit around sometimes. So
Sure.
um
It's part of the game.
of course. So yeah, but it was cool to throw well in front of them. And obviously at Tennessee, being from there,
Yeah.
it was had some family there and stuff. So it was nice.
Yeah, speaking of that, you're from Hendersonville, which I believe is not too far outside of Nashville. Is that
Correct. Probably about
yeah,
20 minutes.
yeah. Yeah, in fact, we're actually going down to Nashville for football this year, and so we're looking forward to the trip. My wife's never been, but I've been to Nashville a few times, and definitely looking forward to that trip.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, so you're we'll talk a little bit about your recruitment process. You just committed a couple weeks ago. Like tomorrow, I think will be like 2 weeks, I believe, is what you had mentioned before we went on air here. Um, just talk to me about your initial talks with Coach Hart and Coach Chrysler, and kind of what drew. Obviously, you mentioned that they reached out first, so that was already a good check mark in that box. But just how your initial talks went, and kind of what made you feel that NC State would be your future home.
Yeah, well, I think first of all, I mean, when they reached out, they seemed very personable and kind of just good dudes first, and which was good. Obviously, like I said, Sogi loves this place, and so obviously I knew that, I was getting into something good, and yeah, I mean, obviously when I took my visit, I hung out with Chrysler, or not hung out, but he picked me up from the
Yeah, I
airport,
got you.
and uh,
Sure.
and then on Saturday, I was with him all day, so it was never a dull moment, and it was great. So really checked a lot of boxes.
Very cool. And then kind of like when you just stepped on campus for the first time and kind of walked into the facilities, because last year, those facilities when you came in as an opponent to NC State, I think was like the second or I think it was the third weekend of the season. Those facilities weren't available. So when you walked in and saw kind of, I don't know if you saw any of the construction that was going on. In fact, I don't even know if that building was even being worked on last year. I'm just trying to get my timeline straight. But just kind of give me your thoughts when you were like, wow. Because I'm sure it's definitely a different feeling from, Wright State.
Sure. Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I think that, Wright State has, obviously there's a lot of good going on at Wright State, and it was unfortunate, not unfortunate, but it was a little sad to leave. They've given me a lot of good, and
Absolutely.
um, yeah, but when we played there, my sophomore year, it was a good atmosphere. Obviously, great stadium. Yeah, it was great. It was fun to play at, and so, it wasn't too hard of a decision to decide I wanted to play here.
Yeah, yeah. No, like I said, we're thrilled to have you and your teammate Hunter Warren. I do want to shift gears a little bit and maybe talk about Hunter a little bit. Kind of just give me some initial thoughts. Obviously, you've been with him the last 2 years. Both of you guys were first team all conference players. What can we expect, and like how tough is he to face in live BP?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, he's a good dude. Awesome, awesome human being, and he's actually been my roommate for the past 3 years. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, he's a great dude, and then on the baseball side, great fielder. Really, he plays the game well in the field at second, and he can even play short. So, um, yeah, and then as far as hitting goes, I'm a little biased just because he's my boy, but I think he's got the best hit tool in the world. So, just his bat to ball ability, and then obviously this year he showed some more power. So I think he's trending in the right direction.
Yeah, we were Ethan Berry, who I don't know how much you've started following any of the, I don't know how much you are on social media or on X/Twitter. I'm old, so I still call it Twitter. But
Yeah.
our guy Ethan, who's part of our team, he does Wolfpack stats, and he's a big baseball guy, just like myself. And he's done some breakdowns on both you and Hunter on our Patreon channel. But he's super excited to have Hunter on board as well, and
Yeah.
he thinks Hunter's still got a little more power left in him
Oh yeah.
to
Oh
maybe
yeah.
get over double digits. But anyway, this is not a Hunter Warren podcast. This is a Chet Lax podcast. So we'll get back to you, but I just kind of wanted to sneak that in there for a second. Um, First off, are you playing any summer ball this year?
I am. I'm actually up. I'm up on the Cape right now. I'm playing with the
Okay.
Harwich Mariners. We start tomorrow, so it's great. It's beautiful
Very
and
cool.
great place to be at in the summer. So.
Yeah. Is this your first year up in the Cape or?
Yep. After freshman year, I played with the Full Count Rhythm. They're based out of Hendersonville.
Okay.
Just kind of wanted to go home, play a little more ball, and then sophomore year didn't play, and then now playing in the Cape this year. So I'm excited.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So planning to throw probably next 2 weeks. So sure.
Gotcha. What's some things that you're trying to work on this summer? Just any type of pitch or just like location, velo. Like what's your main goal out of this summer?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that, I'm pretty blessed to be able to play in the Cape. So I think I'm really just trying to enjoy it right now. Just go play ball, and then when I get done, I'm gonna, obviously I've got things to work on. And
Sure.
you can always get better. So, yeah, I really think that trying to work on my velo a little bit, I think will help me. And then I mean, I like my off speed, but they can always get better. So, yeah.
And when you say work on your off speed, are you just talking about like disguising it, location? Like when you say that, what are you trying to achieve there?
Yeah, I think like with my off speed, I think, I'm confident in my ability to throw them for strikes. I think that, kind of when I get to those two strike counts, maybe I need to be a little better. And so I think that I can, maybe, get a few more Ks just from being a little better in two strike counts. So um yeah, I think that that's one of them for sure.
Gotcha. Um, all right, let me see what else we want to talk about. Your greatest strength and weakness as a pitcher.
My greatest strength, I would say, is my mind. I think that I'm pretty even keel on the mound. I might be a little bit of a goofball off out of the field and like to have fun and joke around and stuff. But when I'm on that mound, I really focus and try to just lock in. Really, I think that my mind really makes me the pitcher that I am. So yeah.
As far as your introduction to NC State and your new teammates, have you talked to many of them? And if so, kind of how's the welcoming party been for you?
Yeah, I met a couple while I was on my visit. But outside of that, I haven't really talked to anybody. I think, a lot of people are playing summer ball right now. A lot of people are busy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Who'd you meet? I'm just curious.
Drew Lampier,
Okay.
I think he was hitting in the cages when I came in. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha. So just to kind of, hey, I'm just here. Like, do you pick their brain at all? Like when you come in, like, or you just it's just more like a kind of a passing, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I mean I didn't really, necessarily pick their brain per se, but I talked to them and, had a conversation and stuff like that. So yeah.
Gotcha. Um, Just what are you most excited about coming to Raleigh? Like, is it just kind of stepping up in competition? Is it just, getting a new change of scenery? Kind of what is it for you?
Yeah, I just think, kind of a new opportunity. I think that, when I kind of do something new, it kind of makes me uncomfortable a little bit. So, I tend to maybe get a little better. I think that's kind of how it's been my, whole career. I think, I played for a couple summer teams in high school, stayed with the same high school. But yeah, I mean, I just think that a new opportunity will kind of help me grow. And obviously, there's a lot of good things going on here. So
Absolutely. Uh, Team goals aside, right? Because those are always first and foremost. But personally, kind of what are your goals in the next, 9, 12 months?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, um, I want to obviously gain a little bit of weight, get a little bit stronger, of course, throughout the summer, throughout the fall and winter. Um, I mean, I'm going to have to earn everything that I want, but I would like to start if possible. And, I'm a win first guy. I just want to win. So, whatever is going to help the team win and, try to make as big of an impact as I can.
Absolutely. I guess that is the goal, right? To start, yeah, you've pretty much done that. At least the last year. I didn't really check out your freshman season where you were at. Have you always been a starter?
Not necessarily. My freshman year, I came in out of the bullpen. Um, I threw I threw one batter my first weekend of college baseball. It was awesome. And then from then on, kind of towards the back half of my freshman year, I started on Sundays, and then Sunday I was kind of the midweek guy, kind of like bullpen guy. And then started some midweek. Started I was kind of the fourth starter, I guess, if you will.
Okay.
Um, and then honestly, same thing this past year. I was, I guess you could say I was the fourth starter. Still probably mostly going to come out of the bullpen. Maybe after a righty or something like that. But um, unfortunately, we had our Sunday guy Warren Hartzell. He got hurt at Campbell.
Looks like about the 3rd weekend of the season, it looks like.
Correct. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it sucks. He's great. Like he's a great pitcher. He deserved to be in that role, and um, I just had to step up and try to do my best to fill in. So
Yeah.
yeah, my first start was Tennessee. So
Tennessee, yeah, I was just looking at that. Ethan and I, like I said, talked about some of your numbers against Georgia and Tennessee, and I was like, "Holy cow!" His first start was, yeah, first road start was there. It looks like you had a home start against Kent State, but week
yeah.
before that. Yeah, NC State fans are very accustomed to guys going down. We lost 2 of our main studs this year in Marone and Duden. Well, Duden first, then Marone, but yeah, you can never have, and I guess that's where my question is going, right? Like you can never have too many arms, as you've probably been following the portal class that you're going to be playing with. Uh, we've gone really heavy after pitching, and now, I mean, today we just got a new catcher, so you have a battery. Now you have a new battery, and then potentially Drew Lanphier. He has one more year of eligibility, so we'll see what he ends up doing. But yeah, have you talked to Andrew? I just told you, blanked on his last name.
Raymond.
Raymond, thank you.
Yep.
Have you had
Yep.
a chance, or do you know him at all?
I do not. My dad went to Mississippi State, so he was pretty excited to see a Mississippi State guy coming over.
Gotcha.
But no, I haven't been able to talk to him. So
Was your dad a baseball player? Did he
he
play
was
at Mississippi
not.
State?
He
Okay,
went. He just went there for
gotcha.
college and stuff like that. So yeah.
Very cool. Um, yeah, I just, what would you consider, like, your best pitch? Because I think you're a 3-pitch guy, if I read all my stuff
Yeah,
right.
sinker four seam. So kind of. That's kind of another goal is try to differentiate those. But yeah, I would say I really like my changeup. I think that's kind of my money pitch, and um, yeah,
Gotcha. All right. Well, I want to play a little game. We're going to have about 25 questions here, kind of a little rapid fire action. You said you've been on campus, so look, if you don't know the answer, you don't have an answer, not a big deal. There'll be time to experience all of these in life while you're in Raleigh. Um, what is your so we kind of talked about it a little bit, but you said what's your favorite pitch to throw? It sounds like
changeup.
maybe the changeup. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, strikeout looking or strikeout swinging? What's your favorite?
Ooh, uh, ooh, that's a tough question. I'm gonna go strikeout looking on a heater
Yeah.
inside.
When you bend their knees, when you
Oh
buckle
yeah.
them?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. Favorite pitch to throw in a full count, would that still be a changeup, or do you like to go maybe
Ooh,
fastball or something else?
it's tough. It's kind of dependent on the hitter, but yeah, I mean, I'd say, I'm confident in my ability to land all my pitches, so but I'd say
Gotcha.
changeup still.
Fair, fair. Most exciting, all right, I think you're gonna be biased on this one, but that's okay, we'll go for here. A walk-off or a no-hitter? What's more exciting in baseball?
I think I think a walk off just because the game's close. Maybe a no hitter. You're kind of just like it's like a 6-0 ball
You
game.
could be in cruise
I
control.
Of
Yeah,
course. So I
yeah.
mean,
But
obviously,
but but I'll
sorry.
I'll I'll push back a little bit here. Walk-offs are a little bit more common than no-hitters.
That's true. That is very true. I think that I don't know. It's cool to hear the crack of the bat. Um,
There's no wrong answer.
yes,
That's the
sir.
correct answer. There's no wrong answer. Uh, best walk-up song, like you've
Uh,
heard, like someone walking out, you're like, "Oh, that's good."
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with my boy Hunter. His walk up song this
Okay.
year. It was a good one.
Do you wanna share,
I
or do you wanna
think.
let him tell that story? I'm
Uh,
trying to get him on, so
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think. Well, it's called Mimosa. It's got some numbers in it. It's kind of like a house
okay,
song, I guess, but yeah.
okay, okay. Very cool. Favorite stadium you've ever played in?
Yeah. I'm gonna go Mississippi State. I haven't played there in my college career, but I played there once in
Okay,
high school.
that
Yeah,
counts. Okay. All right. Favorite baseball movie?
either Million Dollar Arm, when they
That's a good
go
one.
over to India. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good one. Or um, man, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that one.
I've asked that question probably a dozen or so of times, and that's the first answer. That's the first time that's ever come up. So I like that.
Yeah,
That's a deep cut, if you will.
yeah.
Um, all right. So, well, you're from Tennessee, so I think they have them there. Do they have cookout in Tennessee? Don't they?
Oh
They
yeah,
have to have cookout in Tennessee.
oh yeah,
All right. What's your cookout? What's your cookout tray order?
yeah. I'm gonna go burger, cheeseburger. Some places, I don't know, it's been weird. Some places have the Cajun fries, some don't. But I'm gonna go the Cajun
That's true.
fries. And then maybe a chicken quesadilla. So yeah, and then
Okay.
a little
All
maybe
right.
some sweet tea in there too.
There you go. That was one of my questions. So we'll come back to that. But do you have a favorite pregame meal or postgame? Either one.
Um, Pregame, we get or I guess we got the tropical smoothie wraps.
Hmm.
They're kind of we called them the Chipotle chicken fastballs. Um,
I like
pretty
that.
funny, yeah. So
I
those
like
that's
that.
probably my go-to.
Very cool. Do you have a favorite cheat meal?
I'm gonna go Canes.
Oh, okay. All right. I think Canes might have been one of my questions on here. I don't know if I pulled that one out. I created a bunch of them here and I kind of rotate them in and out. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Ham
okay.
and pineapple. I'm a ham and pineapple guy.
Okay. If you weren't a baseball player, what sport would you play?
Yeah. So my grandfather, he was on the first rodeo team at UT Martin. And he rode bulls. I think
Okay.
I'd want to be in the rodeo or maybe golf, but maybe probably
Well,
rodeo.
those are vastly different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Favorite sports team, who was your favorite team when you were growing up?
Yeah. I'm gonna go Braves.
Still Braves?
Still Braves. Yep.
Okay.
I love me some Spencer Strider. I'm a Max Fried guy, even though he's on the Yankees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm a Rays fan, probably one of
Okay.
like 12.
Junior
I'm
Caminero, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. He's my guy. Uh, yeah, so I'm actually from Tampa originally, and so that's but I live up here in DC now. Like, the Nats have sucked for a few years, but it's easy to get tickets. Um, Dream major league stadium to pitch in.
Yeah, I think Yankee Stadium would be cool. I also, just being a Braves fan, I think the Braves, Truist Park.
Truist. I know I can't for me, like, it's funny because 'cause I'm an older guy, I'm almost 50, and these name change I can't keep up with the name changes of stadiums, so I just go like, whatever, but
Yeah,
Braves are easy one to remember. If you could face one Major League Baseball hitter, who would it be?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Chipper Jones.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure you follow him. Like, how fun is it, like, when he responds to these dads trying to get their kids, hitting a little bit better, and like, that's pure gold, brother.
Oh yeah, that's just a baseballer at heart.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you do karaoke? And if so, what's your karaoke song?
I have done it. I've done karaoke on the bus once.
On the bus, okay.
We just did I just did tequila.
Okay.
Banner, banner,
That's an
banner,
easy one.
banner. Yeah,
You don't even need the dang, you don't even need the words. You just
that's right.
yell tequila at the right beat. What's one thing that you want Wolfpack fans to know about you? Like, not sports related, just something crazy hobby thing that, like some niche thing that you're into.
Yeah. I like to fish. I like to hunt. I'm an outdoors guy. Um, I when I'm sitting at home, I feel like I'm doing nothing. So I like to be outdoors.
That's awesome. What's one ACC baseball stadium that you're looking forward to playing in? I don't know. Again, don't know how much you know about the different ballparks or,
Yeah, I think that um, obviously playing for the Wolfpack at the Doak is going to be awesome.
Mhm.
I've heard that Florida State is nice, so I think that might be cool. I mean, obviously all these parks are going to be nice. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. With the stupid imbalanced ACC schedule that we kind of have, I don't. I mean, we won't play at Florida State this year because
yeah.
we just played there last year. But yeah, I get it. That's one park I haven't been to. I've been to most of them, but yeah, they're kind of old school in that thing. How much do you? We're kind of done with the rapid fire, but just another question: like, how familiar and how worried are you about the Doak stream? Has anyone talked to you about the Doak
Yeah,
stream?
yeah, I'm pretty familiar. We actually JP Peltier,
Hmm.
he was on the Raiders.
Yep,
He found that jet stream out to left.
he did.
I think that, I kind of pitched it one at right, out to left. It kind of blew. Sometimes it blew straight across to left, and sometimes it blew just straight out to center.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, I think, obviously there's going to be some boom boxes and stuff like that. So yeah.
yeah. All right, last one for me, and we'll get this wrapped up and get you onto your weekend. But what's the one message you want to give Wolfpack fans out there? Like, just this is your elevator pitch to get them fired up. What do you got?
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to get to work, and I think you're getting a good athlete and a good pitcher, and also a good human. So yeah, I'm ready to work, and uh, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, Chet, we really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall. At I know I'll be at fall ball. Hopefully, I'm a big NC State fan, like I told you. Would be considered a super fan, so I try to spend my time everywhere and spread myself then. But I look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Yep. I appreciate you having me.
All right, do you already know the Wolfpack sign?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Like, here we go.
You're
There we
working on
go.
it. There you go. All
There
right,
we
so let's
go.
say on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go Pack.
Go pack.